too busy, dude. It's been too busy. When am I going to watch
The
that?
fight last night, one of the best
Yeah, let's
heavyweight
just get into
fights I've watched in a very long time, man.
Maybe ever.
Dude,
Maybe not the best, but it's definitely up there. It's on the short list.
it,
You know.
dude, and look, I'm gonna be honest here because I was so looking forward to Fury versus Joshua, and then when I
Yeah, me
heard
too.
all the rematch clause and all these things, I was like, God damn it, here we go again. Do I really want to watch this? In my eyes, Fury beat Wilder twice already. I don't want to watch this. And then
Yeah.
again, my boy Tommy Rush hits me up. He's like, hey, you want to come over? I was like,
You're like, I want to watch this.
yeah, let me go. So I go over, and dude, I was so happy that this trilogy happened.
Well, here's the thing. Yeah. I mean, he won the first fight. I don't care what they say. It was a draw just so they could sell a rematch, right?
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's just get into it. The walkouts. So remember the last fight, Wilder's excuse was my walkout costume was too heavy.
Yes.
My legs were tired by the time I got to the ring. I mean, that was the first excuse. Then there was 20 more, but so he walks out with just the mask this time. No full armor.
And can I say that this was a fantastic substitute to the full armor still?
Yeah, still looks good. I'm all for this. I thought it was great. Yeah. Then I'm like, what the hell? So before we switch, Rich, Katie doesn't care about boxing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she can say what she wants, but she cares about Tyson Fury. And
who doesn't?
Yeah. And she was like, what? She's like, what's his walkout going to be like? And I'm like, it's either going to be something very basic or it's going to be very over the top. And there's no in between. Last time he got carried out on a throne, wearing a crown and a robe, and people carried him.
Do you remember when he walked down the full Mexican sombrero too? And the
yeah,
dude,
and the Apollo Creed with the Uncle
so
Sam outfit. I mean, come on. So then we get the weird dancing dude, the gypsy dancer, right?
Yeah.
And then it gets to Tyson Fury, and he's wearing full Spartan gear.
Oh,
and Jay Peasy, shout out Jay Peasy.
There's only one Tyson Fury. Oh my god,
dude! But then I couldn't find a good picture of it to upload. But then he switches to that Jesus trucker cap, and it was the greatest, most white trashiest thing ever. I think he purposely didn't trim up his beard and edge it up because normally it's real lined up, but he's just a shaggy beard and a foam trucker hat with Jesus written in a fish on it. It was so beautiful.
Oh my god, man.
What a showman.
As soon as the walkout started, I started getting goosebumps, right? And I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so excited for this fight again. And I went in not wanting to watch this, I'm gonna admit, but yeah. Hey, by the way, JPZ, thank you for joining us again. And you've been a real one. Join us on a regular basis. Do me a favor. Just go ahead and comment, where you're located and see if we can get your information over to Richard Casual. I might have a Story of the Fight t-shirt to send your way if we have your size. But yeah, we'd love to send one your way. But getting into the fight here. So the first round.
So how about real quick, before the fight started, they're in the ring and the cameras are cutting back and forth and it cuts to Tyson and you see his mouth go, bitch, right? You can't hear him, but it's you can hear him, you see him say bitch.
Yes.
And then it gets closer and he's just like, bitch ass. And it comes through the TV. So funny, dude.
Oh, I love it, man. I love it. Just the entire buildup, you know what I mean? And then dude, Tyson Fury, he has a way with words. Everybody knows this. He gives a great interview, right? And he there's something about him, man. He's like gravity. You get pulled in by everything that Tyson Fury does.
Yeah.
And again, the first round, first of all, I see how much larger Deontay Wilder looks. Weighed in at his heaviest ever in his career, 238 of solid muscle.
He looked massive. He looked solid massive. Muscle. They said this fight combined was the most weight in a ring for a title in boxing history. Wow. Most combined weight in history.
And also
massive guys.
Lennox, not Lennox. Lennox Lewis.
Lennox.
Lennox Lewis when he goes, this weightlifting and that's sports science. And I was like, oh, slow down. What do we mean by sports science here? Let's not get into it. But dude, he looked really good. Came out with the jab to the body, which is what I thought he needed to do. When he'd go to the right, straight to the body too.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, off the get-go, like you said, you didn't want to watch it. I wanted to watch it, but at the same time, I was like, this is pointless, right? It's pointless. It doesn't need to happen, But obviously the matchup, I'm still very interested in the matchup because say what you will, right, about how many rounds Fury has won versus how many rounds Wilder has won. All it takes is one from Deontay Wilder. All it takes is one. So no matter how many times somebody beats him, it's always compelling because he has the equalizer.
Yep.
So I was like, yeah, Fury's going to win this. Fury's going to win this. And then as soon as it started, I was like biting my nails and I was like, oh God, it's just like so
edge nervous. Of your seat, pins and needles, man. I was the exact same way. You know, and with Deontay Wilder, you know, I kind of started thinking about his mental strength because after he took his last loss, it was every excuse under the sun, every excuse you could think of. You know, so
crazy excuses.
Yeah, crazy excuses. And look, I know that these fighters, in order to be great fighters, they have to have an ego.
Yeah,
they have to. And you know, I know that Deontay's ego was absolutely shattered, man. His world was shattered. So I was really curious, like how is he going to be able to handle adversity? Because he knew he was going to face adversity again.
Yeah.
And all I could say is that I was so impressed with Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, real quick. Shout out Bruce Bobtrotter. Luckily, we don't have to see Holm versus Dumont. That fight's not happening anymore. But also the card is very stacked. Be excited for that card because it's super stacked. Holm versus Dumont's not happening. It's Aspinlad versus Dumont. But don't worry about the main event because the card is stacked. It's just not a pay-per-view card, but it's very good.
I wonder if Mr. Bruce Bobtrotter got to watch the Fury Wilder fight.
Yeah, I don't know. And shout out George also.
Hey, mates, Big over here. I'd love to hear more discussions on boxing, biggest fights mixed in with MMA. Cheers to you, George. Cheers to you,
George.
But yes, so
adversity.
What was the turning point for you
in this fight?
Yes.
Well, so like you said, you were starting to say earlier, we need to see some kind of improvement from Deontay Wilder because up until this point, he's gotten so far on very bare bones, basic footwork, a very basic lead hand, and a big right hand. That's pretty much all he's had, right? And it's gotten him very far. He has got like 40 knockouts, right, with that right hand. I mean, he lands a right straight on your forehead, and you're going to go down.
I think he landed behind Ortiz's head too, and Ortiz went down. You know, so
yeah, but this one, the first round starts, and it's like, all right, what am I looking for in this fight? The first fight, we saw Tyson dance around, feinting crazy head movement, and point fighting perfection, right? Second fight, he just absolutely steamrolls Wilder, that Kronk style, right? Just in his face, smashing him, tiring him out, blitzing him, and eventually beating him down, right? And then, so it's like, okay, we know Fury can beat Wilder with multiple styles. So going into this fight, we need to see something from Wilder. And right away, we see the jab to the body and then the right cross straight to the body. And it was sending Fury back, right? And it was like, ooh, that's another wrinkle that Fury now has to worry about and deal with, right? And that's new. I mean, we haven't seen Wilder improve in years because he hasn't had to, right? So it was like when at a certain point you have to, and he did. So I was like, this is going to be very interesting, right? Very interesting. The turning point for me was in the third round when Tyson Fury drops him close to the end of the round, and he dropped him good. And I was like, oh shit. This is Wilder may have made the adjustments, but Fury is I mean, this is pretty much a wrap. I thought it was a wrap. Third round ends, fourth round starts, and it looks like Tyson Fury is just bullying him, but then he drops him in the corner.
Oh,
and I was like, oh no. I was like, holy shit, dude. And it was a crazy knockdown too, because he hits him clean, right? And he stays up for a second. He tries to clinch, and then his whole body just like shuts down. And I was like, that's not good. You know, it wasn't a clean knockout, right? Where he happened to get up in 10 seconds, but it was like a delayed reaction where his body shut down. And I was like, I don't know if he's going to be able to get up from a body shut down, knockdown like that. And I was like, this is not good. And then the fight kept going, and the fourth round kept going. And then he drops him again. This time not against the ropes, but right in the center. I mean, look at him, dude. Look at the way his legs are. I mean, and that one was a solid one in the clinch right to the top of the ear, right? That was the one that one was a drop, very different. And I mean, I was like, this is fucking not good. Not good for old me, right? Obviously, I'm fucking a Tyson Fury fan.
Or Katie.
Yeah, seriously. At that moment, what did you think? How the fight was going?
So okay,
and so the fourth round ends, right? Fury got knocked down twice.
Yes, and end of the third round, I thought, okay, saved by the bell. Let's see how Deontay looks. Deontay still looked a bit wobbly coming out in the fourth round, which I think is why Tyson was smelling blood, and he left himself open a little bit more, right?
Definitely.
Got a little too confident coming in. Again, Wilder has that equalizer. And then the fourth round ends, fifth round starts, and Fury seemed a little wobbly himself coming out. But in the middle of the fifth round, you see him back on his toes. You know, he's got a little bit more pep in his step. His movement got so much better.
Well, that's way later, Rich.
But when we're looking at what Fury was able to do for me, when I think about the turning point or what caused the turning points, really it's that 40-pound difference. Yeah. Where after exchanges, Fury had no problem putting Wilder in a headlock and leaning so heavy on him.
For me, it's not just that. It's I mean, there's a lot of key moments, right? That's definitely one of the biggest ones is the weight difference, right? Like heavyweight boxing, that's what you deal with, right? But also, it's rare that the guy that's that much heavier is also that skilled. Like, when do you ever see that, you know?
Yeah.
Because, dude, for me, the difference maker in this fight was the left hand, the lead hand for both of them. At the beginning, Wilder's throwing that jab. He's pumping it to the body, right? He finally starts going up top to land the straight up top instead of to the body. I wish he was mixing it up more. It seemed like he was either going to the body or going to the head, and he wasn't like mixing the two with his combos. But I mean, what are you going to do, right? But with the difference, though, is Fury, dude, when he throws that jab, that step-in jab, oh my God, is it strong? And then
it hit different.
Half the time it's like, because he steps in the jab almost like you're going to step in or like hop in like a Roy Jones Jr. style lead hook, but he throws it straight. I'm like, God damn, that's got power. But then sometimes he does throw the hook, and then sometimes he throws the hook short on purpose, and it brings your hands down, and then the right comes over the top, and that's what he was able to drop him with early in the fight. And I mean, he's just so skilled, right? Like the weight and that kind of like ringsmanship and understanding of boxing to be able to completely switch your approach is just, I mean, how often do you see that in a heavyweight fight where a guy gets dropped, the next round he drops his opponent twice, and then the next round the guy who just got dropped twice wins it?
Yeah. Oh, it's nuts, man. It's nuts. These two are just fantastic. You know, and I wish I would have seen, like you talk about the strategy, right, for Wilder coming in. I wish there would have been like, hey, for the first 6 rounds, this is what our strategy is, and after that, this is what it is, or maybe round by round.
You can't quite do that though, because it depends on what your opponent does.
No, I get it. But my problem is that he continued coming in with that left jab to the body, then the right cross to the body. And in the second round, in the end of the second round, you see Fury starting to counter it with the right hook. Whenever Wilder was coming in with the left jab to the body, he'd go right hook up top. So it's like, dude, let's mix it up from round to round, right? Maybe you don't come in with that left jab to the body right away. Like you said, let's mix it up a little bit more. So he started catching him so much more with that counter right hook. And dude, it was just, it was a chess match. And it might not seem like it was a very strategic fight from Wilder, but dude, I don't know. Dude, I was just so pumped off this fight.
The fact that Wilder can make those adjustments pre-fight at this level, at this age and at this level of his career, the fact that he was able to make those adjustments. I mean, obviously he fired Mark Breland, which the reason he did it is wrong in my opinion, but I think he did learn, right, with a new camp. He's definitely taking things into consideration and recognizing that he does need to, because I was worried, right, that he makes all these excuses that he's not going to improve himself because he thinks, oh, Fury beat me because he cheated, I don't have to make any adjustments, right? But he did. And I thought his corner did a great job in this fight, as far as like in between round advice. But then as the fight went on, I mean, how tough is Deontay Wilder? He was just taking shots, and Fury was able to land like uppercuts. Once he started landing that right uppercut, I was like, damn, that's a whole new facet. And then in the 10th, he drops him good. And then in the 11th, he finishes him, right? And that finishing shot, dude, I mean, that's it right there. That right hook up against the ropes.
It was brutal.
It was insane. And at that point, I was like, it's got to be over. It's got to be over. Because at that point, so he gets dropped in the 10th, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the 10th, was it the 10th that he got dropped in? I think he got dropped in the 10th. But then at the end of that round, or maybe it was the end of the 9th. Not the 10th. Sorry, the 9th. He was losing, right? No, he got dropped in the 10th. But at the end of the 9th, he hurt Fury against the ropes. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, shit, the tide might be turning again. But then in the 10th, he gets dropped. In the 11th, he gets put away like this. And at that point, I was like, there's no way. These guys have been dropped too many times. There's no way we're getting back up from this one. And that one was brutal. That was a brutal knockout.
I mean, he face planted, right?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't a complete face plant, but I mean, he there was just no getting back up from that. And the ref stopped it right away, right after.
Fantastic job by the ref, too.
Yeah,
the whole fight.
Absolutely. But I think Tyson Fury said it best.
Tough fight to ref.
At the end, he said, I'm the best fighter in the world. I'm number 1, and he's number 2. And dude, that's just, it's tough, man. It's tough for Wilder. He just happens to be in the era where the Gypsy King is ruling.
Yeah, even Fury said that. He was like, I feel bad that all these guys have to fight in my era.
Oh, yeah, dude. It sucks for them. George coming through with the comment says, if Wilder was so sure it was everything but Fury being better than that beat him, why make adjustments in your camp?
Well, so I don't know if you mean adjustments in your camp as far as like new skills or as far as the people in your camp. The people in the camp, the adjustment was because he thought Mark Breland poisoned him, which is crazy.
Again, all kinds of crazy excuses that he had after, right?
Yeah. As far as adjusting your game, elevating your game, even if you do believe that he only beat you because he's cheated, you still want to improve, right? You're still going to make adjustments. So yeah, I mean, either way, he's going to make adjustments. You want to improve every camp, right? Also, shout out Sansan, one of the realest dudes.
For sure.
Saying one of the best podcasts out there. I appreciate you, Sansan.
Thank you, Sansan. Appreciate you, my man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. So, Zach coming through. I know nothing about these fights, but just listening to you guys talk about it with that passion is exciting. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate it. Yeah. You know, Richie Casual, our producer, that's why we call him Richie Casual, because he casually watches fights. And when I say casually, I mean casually watches fights. But he finally watched some fights recently, and guess what? He loved them. So, Zach, maybe you can watch some fights here coming up soon and get some passion for yourself, my friend. But so anything else on this fight other than the fact that it was one of the best heavyweight fights that I've personally ever seen?
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible, right? What else? We have a bunch of comments on this one already. Jesus Christ.
Oh, do we? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mummified Sumo. You want to read that one?
That's a sick name, dude.
It is a pretty sick name. Mummified Sumo. Yeah. That's legit.
Wilder has heart and strength, but without technique, he can't reach higher levels. Fury knows the science of boxing and ring IQ, just shows he's limitless. I agree, but
he's gotten this far, though, when you think about it. You know, like,
well, that's what happens at heavyweight, right?
Yeah, he's been a champion, and like you said, he has that equalizer. He has that touch of death, man. He taps people, very much like Ngannou, right? He touches people anywhere in this area, in the fist, and guess what? They're usually going down.
But I do see improvement from him in this fight. I saw improvement, and I respect that. I really respect that because, I mean, at that level, it's difficult to just do that. Usyk or Fury, I have Fury in that.
Obviously, I have Fury as well.
Because, I mean, I see that Usyk is so small for heavyweight, right? He came up right in the division. I mean, he had a fantastic fight against Anthony Joshua too. The fact that we just had both those fights back to back is insane. But Usyk has to get close to Fury, and Usyk's smaller than Wilder. So if he's going to get close and inside box Fury's just going to weigh him down. As long as Fury can survive for a bit, I mean, I don't see a way that Usyk can win. He doesn't have the one punch. He has knockout power, obviously, right? But he doesn't have the one punch knockout power that Wilder has. So I just don't see. He's going to have to get close. Either Fury's going to fight him the same way he fought Wilder the first fight and dance around Ali style, head movement, feinting, and not let him get close. I don't know why
when you started moving your head, I started moving my head too, like you're trying to counter your head movement.
Yeah. Or he's just going to tire him out every time Usyk gets close. And I don't know if it's going to be the most exciting fight, though, I'll be honest. But I do think Fury wins it.
But you know what? I'll watch it.
Yeah, of course.
Anything Fury does, I'll watch it. He can fight one of those Bob dummies, dude, and I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm hooked, man. I'm hooked. All right. Anything else on that fight?
Let's see. Yeah, stuff keep coming in. What are people saying?
You got more comments coming through?
Yeah.
Bruce, Bob Trotter, once again, respect to Wilder, but he has some mental problems to not appreciate Breland for stopping a fight for his own good and refuses to show any sportsmanship. Won't shake hands after that is pathetic. And that's one of the things I mentioned where, hey, this guy had a huge ego and you heard every excuse under the sun after his last fight. And it had me thinking, like, where's his mental space at coming into this fight?
Well, so allow me to at least like defend him a little bit. Obviously, in this rivalry, I'm clearly a Tyson Fury fan, but
Gypsy King fan.
Yeah. I don't condone him firing Breland for throwing the towel in and not realizing that. But at the same time, to get to that level in heavyweight boxing, it's very tough to put your ego aside in those moments. It was also his first like main loss, right? So like that's a tough thing to deal with. I can't imagine the
didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah, and this last one won't shake hands after the fight. I'm not gonna. I'll never judge somebody for how they act after being flatlined, KO'd like that. I know Fury went over there, but if you've never been knocked out before, like it's just. I mean, you're not yourself. You know what I mean? You're not even there. So I can't judge somebody's actions post knockout like that.
You know, and quite honestly, I'm glad that they didn't interview him afterwards. I'm glad he didn't hang out for an interview. We've seen in the UFC now where Joe Rogan says he doesn't want to interview fighters that have recently been knocked out.
He's done an interview since at the hospital.
Yeah.
And I mean, he said Fury beat him. I mean, he was like, yeah.
He said he was better than me tonight.
He was better than me. He used his weight to tire me out. He used it well. He beat me, right? So the not shaking handling hands thing,
so far.
Yeah, but the in-ring antics, I can't blame him for that. You know, he just got knocked out. You know.
Yep. All right. Shall we move on? Or, I mean, this could be an entire
Andy Ruiz, boxer himself.
Andy Ruiz.
Yeah.
Even better than Ali, he said, huh? Even better than Ali. So, and he's talking about Tyson Fury?
Talking about Tyson Fury.
Fury's the best boxer in history. Wow. That's saying something.
I love Fury's answer to that question too. Like, how would you beat the greats, right? Or would you beat the greats? And he's like, I don't touch those. Those are in the past. They did what they did. They're great. I don't even entertain the thoughts of that because I'm not gonna talk over their legacy like that.
Yeah, dude. I don't like to compare unless it's Michael Jordan over LeBron James all day. Don't at me. That's all I'm saying. All right. So we'll go and let's go ahead and move on because basketball. To UFC, we had UFC Fight Night, Vegas 39, Dern versus Rodriguez. Hey everybody, Romero and Will here. Thank you so much for watching that short clip. It's just a small clip of what we covered this last Sunday.
Yeah, if you want to check out the full fight card recap, the link is in the description, and it's going to be on screen at the end here. Don't forget to go back and watch our fighter interviews that we have. And don't forget to tune in live every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and you can join in on the fun.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It goes a long way. All right, everybody, thanks for watching that short clip from Story of the Fight.